In 2025, as Carrie Underwood returned to American Idol as a judge on the show she won 20 years earlier, producers pulled out all the stops to reminisce about her original season, from airing throwback footage to putting Underwood behind the wheel of the Mustang she won in 2005. Underwood is now not only one of the biggest country stars in the world, but also a mom to two boys, 10-year-old Isaiah and 6-year-old Jacob, she shares with husband Mike Fisher. Underwood told Entertainment Tonight in April that her boys had never watched the season of American Idol she competed on. But in 2025, they were very invested in watching the first season she judged, she told attendees at the official Carrie Underwood fan club party held at the Grand Ole Opry in early June 2025. And that, she admitted, led to a bit of friction at home when some of their favorites were sent home. In a Q&A hosted by Cody Allen at Underwood's annual fan club party, currently airing on Sirius's Carrie's Country Channel, Underwood said her sons were so into watching season 23 of American Idol, they were among the millions who cast votes, and they didn't quite understand that she couldn't always save contestants once viewers started voting. Underwood recalled, "My kids were, like, voting, and I'd come home and they'd be like, oh my gosh, they went home, we need to talk. I'd say, I don't have anything to do with it. But I'm trying to tell the singers things that can help them stay." So, yeah, it was a whole dynamic. Even Underwood admitted she found herself getting upset week after week as different people were sent home, given that there was so much talent among the contestants. "Every single week that anybody went home, it's like, I was upset," she told Allen. "Then I'm like, well, who else would it be? I think I would be the same level of upset at everybody going home." Before Underwood started her role as a judge with auditions in New York, she told E! News in October that her kids didn't understand what her new role meant. "My son this morning, he thinks I'm singing somewhere," Underwood said. "So, he's like, God, please give her all the right words and help her sing great. And Mike was like, she's not singing. And then he was like, okay, give her wisdom. He has no clue, which I kind of love. They don't really know what I do. They do, but they don't, which I love. I'm mom to them, but I think they're going to understand when they start seeing episodes." Juggling life as a country superstar, American Idol judge, and engaged mom is a balancing act, Underwood told the crowd gathered at the Grand Ole Opry. "When you have a career and you are trying to mix that with having a family, it's like, you figure it out," she said matter-of-factly. "And that's the same for all of us with kids and jobs in life. It definitely makes you prioritize what's really important," she continued. "Like, I've said no to a lot of things that it's like I kind of wanted to do. But, you know, it's like, Isaiah has a basketball game, so I'm like, I want to go this basketball game. So it forces you to prioritize." Sitting on the Grand Ole Opry stage with Allen, Underwood said she feels like parenthood makes you a better person. You kind of cut out some of the things that aren't necessary. The Jesus take the wheel singer said being a mom also makes her connect with her own music even more than she used to, noting, musically, you know, it's a lot. You can be more emotional. You can go into write songs, and you can, you know, talk about your kids, talk about your life, talk about your friends, and kind of insert more of yourself into those kinds of songs and relate more to those kinds of songs when that's the life you're living. It was a bright spring morning in Nashville, Tennessee, and Carrie Underwood was busy preparing for her upcoming appearance on American Idol as a guest mentor. As a seasoned artist and a proud mom of two adorable children, Isaiah and Jacob, Carrie balanced her professional commitments with her home life seamlessly, but today was different. Today, her little ones had decided to make their presence known in the most adorable way possible. Carrie had just finished her vocal warm-up, humming softly in her dressing room, when her phone buzzed with a recent video from her kids. With a smile, she tapped open the message. The video was of Isaiah, age 4, and Jacob, age 2, sitting on the living room floor, surrounded by their favorite stuffed animals, watching American Idol on TV. But what made Carrie's heart melt was the caption, "Mommy, you're the best singer, but we don't like it when you sing before us during our nap time." Carrie chuckled softly, remembering how her little ones had become her biggest fans, and her biggest critics, overnight. The Cutest protest, a tale of two little critics. As the morning wore on, Carrie's kids' protest grew more elaborate. It seemed that every time she practiced her vocals or even mentioned her upcoming appearance, they would burst into tears or throw little tantrums, all for the most adorable reasons. The root of their upset. Simple. They wanted to be the first to hear Mommy sing, and they were convinced that her practicing or performing before their nap time was stealing their special moment. Isaiah, ever the serious one, had declared, "Mommy, you're not allowed to sing before me. That's my time to hear you first. I want to be the first person to hear your beautiful voice." Jacob, clutching his favorite stuffed bear, nodded vigorously, adding, "No singing before naps. It's our rule." Carrie, trying to keep her composure but overwhelmed by their cuteness, gently explained, "Sweethearts, I love singing for you. Mommy has to practice a little because I have a big show coming up. But I promise, I'll sing for you as soon as I get home, okay?" But the children's protests only intensified, with Isaiah crossing his arms and pouting dramatically, and Jacob giving her a tiny, tearful frown. The creative solution: turning the protest into a performance. Realizing she needed to turn this adorable protest into a positive experience, Carrie decided to involve her little critics in her musical process. She sat down with her kids, holding their tiny hands in hers, and said, "How about this? Mommy will sing a special song just for you, right now. And after that, I'll practice a little more, and then I'll come home and sing the asterisk song for you. Deal?" Isaiah's eyes lit up with curiosity. "Really? You'll sing for us now?" Carrie nodded. "Yes, but only if you promise to be my biggest helpers. Will you be my little cheerleaders?" They eagerly nodded, and Carrie picked up her guitar, something she often played at home, and sang a sweet, gentle lullaby she'd written for her children. Her voice was soft and warm, wrapping around the kids like a cozy blanket, and for a moment, all their protests melted away. Isaiah clapped his hands enthusiastically, and Jacob giggled, clapping along. Their fussing had turned into a mini concert, with Carrie's kids as her tiny audience, the day of American Idol, a mother's balancing act. As Carrie arrived at the American Idol set later that day, she was still smiling from the morning's heartwarming moments. Her kids' adorable protest had reminded her of the simple joys of motherhood amid the chaos of a busy career. During her interview segment, she shared a funny story about her kids' protest, which elicited laughter from the audience and the judges alike. She explained how her children had become her biggest critics, and her biggest fans, sometimes both at once. Throughout the show, Carrie kept her phone close, eager for updates from home. Her children's sweet faces appeared on her screen, waving enthusiastically and holding homemade signs that read, "Mommy, sing for us," and "We love you." In a touching moment, Carrie dedicated her performance of her latest single to her kids, saying, "This one's for my two little best critics and biggest cheerleaders, Isaiah and Jacob. Thanks for reminding me what really matters." The aftermath: a family moment of joy. When Carrie returned home that evening, her children greeted her at the door with open arms and giggles. Isaiah ran up to her, holding his favorite stuffed animal, and said, "Mommy, you were so good on TV. But next time, can you sing after our nap?" Carrie scooped him up into a warm hug, feeling grateful for the innocence and honesty of her little ones. Jacob clung to her leg, babbling happily about how he loved her singing. That night, as the family snuggled together, Carrie reflected on the day's events. In her heart, she knew that her children's adorable protest was a reminder of what truly mattered: love, family, and the joy of sharing her passion with those she loved most. And as she drifted to sleep, she promised herself that no matter how busy her career became, she'd always make time for her little critics, because their cutest reason for being upset was also her greatest inspiration. Epilogue: the most heartwarming American Idol moment. Years later, Carrie would look back on that day with a smile, telling her children stories of how they almost became her official musical critics. She'd laugh at Isaiah's serious face and Jacob's giggles, remembering how their adorable protests made her realize that sometimes, the best moments are unplanned and filled with love. And every time she performed on American Idol, or anywhere else, she'd think of her little critics at home, reminding her that the most important audience is the one that loves her unconditionally, even if it's just her two tiny, adorable critics.